she's going to have a period. Among the last set of ministers who have just left, we can point to female ministers who performed more than creditably. And we can point to female ministers who had question marks. And you can do the same for the men.
Same for the men.
Exactly.
Yes, indeed. So that argument is no longer tenable.
It is not. It's not been for a long time. And the men know it.
Okay. So what are you personally doing to encourage younger women to look up to getting political appointments or going into politics to actually contest for electoral office?
Well, I'm not a politician.
Or are you putting yourself up?
I'm not a politician.
Okay.
So, and as Ayisha has, I don't have a party card. I did in the 70s, and I went to 3 or 4
rallies,
ward meetings, and I said, this is not what a party is supposed to be. And I really think that before we actually start encouraging women to join the political parties themselves need to look internally about their internal organization. There's more to politics than just having a party card and using it as a form of patronage. So that's one issue. But what am I personally doing? I'm here. I'm here today, talking about women in governance. And I think to the extent that all of us who feel that women have a role to play and can perform creditably, come out and say so, and act, walk the walk, and talk the talk. I think that helps to show that there's a whole pool of women out there that can perform. As I had said before, I belong to about 3 different mentoring schemes where I mentor younger women. None of them are in the political arena. They're all in the professional or the business arena. But as Ayisha said, mentoring is mentoring. It's building confidence in the younger generation. It's showing them that this is how you can move, this is how you can perform, these are the skills you need to make yourself equal to whatever task it is that you have to take on.
Now, Ayisha, a new government has come in. What are your expectations regarding women getting appointments? Election is over, so let's look at appointments now.
Yes. Well, my expectations are that that the new incoming administration, or the new administration that was inaugurated yesterday actually, will at least adhere to the 35%. As Mr. Adekoya pointed out, we haven't had it so good as over the last 4 to 6 years. So there's something to be said for the Jonathan administration and women in appointments. So we're hoping, and that's really just a hope, it's also riding on the fact that President Muhammad Buhari made some promises. I remember there was a town hall meeting in Lagos before the election sometime in March. He met with women and talked about this and promised that he would uphold the national gender policy. So for now, it's pretty much to wait and see. But I also agree with Mr. Adekoya that there are lots of competent Nigerian women. If we even wanted to have a cabinet, not only on the federal government level, but even on the state government levels, that were 50% made up of women, we would find the right women. I know that one of the buzzwords for the new administration has been putting technocrats. There are many female technocrats. What does it mean to be a technocrat? Somebody who's specialized, is professional, has worked in management, and knows their subject, and is put in a role where they can use their skills and experience. We have many women who can do that. But for now, what we can do is wait and see and hope that, yes, because we have a national gender policy, because we've had the precedent in the previous administration of having 35%, well, 33% if you want to be dogmatic about it, we're hoping that this administration will do even more, and they will find the women who are there. The women are there in their hundreds.
What advice would you give to those women who are hoping to get these positions or appointments or elections later on?
I would say they should do more than hope. I am sitting here hoping passively, but the women who want to be in this administration should be lobbying as hard as the men. The men are lobbying. They're going out, they're meeting the people who are making the decisions, they're meeting party heads. So I'm sure the National Chairman Oyegun is inundated with calls and visits. The same way the president-elect then and now President Muhammad Buhari would be inundated with visits and calls. They should do the same thing. They should look for influencers within their communities who have ties to the APC or who have ties to the president or the party hierarchy, and talk to them and send them their CVs and say, this is the role that I think I'll be good at. Here is a memo about what I would do if I was in that position. Be forward about it. We don't need to be shrinking violets. Women have put 20, 30 years into their profession. They've worked hard. They have masters in all sorts of fields. They should put themselves forward. We have many good examples. Again, I'd like to go back to what Mr. Adekoya said. It is true that for every one man who doesn't do well, or one man that does well, you have 300 out there who didn't do well, but nobody notices. But for the women, it seems one-to-one. When you say women, they'll say, but this one didn't do well. And I'm like, yes, there are women who can function and men who can function. We have men who can function and women who can function. Our priority now should be ensuring that only the best men and women are being put into government, either at the local government level, state government level, and the federal government level. And I think as civil society, it's part of our responsibility to be impartial and to be sort of fair about it. If we see somebody who is going there who is not supposed to be in that position, whether male or female, as much as we want to make up the numbers, we owe it a duty to speak up, because in the long term, it will haunt us.
Thank you. I think I'd like to put the same question to you, Funke, Mr. Adekoya. What advice would you give to the Nigerian woman out there who is probably running scared because of all these things we've spoken about, but she wants to go into the political arena?
Well, I've taken a point from what Ayisha said. It never actually occurred to me that, women should also start lobbying and scrambling and putting themselves forward.
We sit back and wait to be called.
And wait to be called. So I've taken that. So Ayisha, I'm hoping that you will be called. But what I would say is that what can women do? I think that the first thing is that if you are called, you should accept. Because some women would look and say, my family, my husband.
Let me ask my husband.
My job. So I think what I would say is if you are called, a man would accept automatically. A woman will want to think about it. So I think that women who believe that they're in that space should think about it now and brief husbands and family now
in advance
and be prepared to say yes if they're called.
Thank you very much. We have been looking at women in governance, and we've been chatting with Mrs. Funke Adekoya, SAN, and Ayisha Osori, who joined us from our studios in Abuja, who is a gender advocate. Thank you very much, Ayisha.
You're welcome. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Mrs. Adekoya.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure being here.
Sunrise will be back with the home stretch in just a minute.